Greetings fellow mages, Exalt here, bringing you your daily dose of magic Manastrike. If you've been an active player in the past couple of days, you've probably met a lot of Tezzeret players. It's kind of meta at the moment. There are many ways for you to play Tezzeret. There's the Wargate Grave Titan combo, there's the Ninja of the Deep Hours combo, but today we're going to take a look at the Aethersquall Ancient and the Reiver Demon combo, which has got to be one of the most annoying and one of the most difficult to defend against. Now, we're not going to talk about how to play it per se, but in the video we're going to talk about how you may be able to counter this very strong combo. I've seen a lot of posts online saying that they're annoyed with the combo, and I wouldn't really take it against them. It's a really difficult combo and it's very easy to pull off. It might appear as if it's elaborate because it requires several creatures, but it actually is very beginner friendly and annoying. Okay, so the combo requires a combination of several creatures in a variation of what you're seeing right now, right? But for the most part, the combo will require you to use Aethersquall Ancient and the Reiver Demon, right? So what the Aethersquall Ancient does is it gives additional HP to the Reiver Demon. In what form? By hiding the Reiver Demon. So it's a great application of the tank archer combo, right? But only in a more devastating form. So we're going to talk about the cards first, understand what the combo does and what makes it very difficult, and then we're going to talk about 3 possible ways that you can win against the deck. Now, the last 3 cards you see here, starting from the Ninja of the Deep Hours, those are optional cards, right? The Circle of Pain and even the Accursed Spirit. I've seen some users use the Retraction Helix just to give the deck a bit of a surprise element, right? Switching your creatures from one lane to another lane, especially if the defending creature has already dropped their creatures heavily, trying to defend on one lane, only for the Tezzeret player to use Retraction Helix and move all of their creatures onto the other side. Okay, so how does the combo work? For the most part, the user will require mana, and they have to have the right set of cards in their hands, which means they have to have Hedron Scouts, they have to have Riddle Keeper, or any card that may potentially serve as fuel for the Reiver Demon, right? So if you see them dropping like their Retraction Helix just from out of the blue, they're just probably cycling their cards in order for them to get the right one that they need. Again, what's great about that particular combo is that it's very difficult to defend against the tank. I mean, the tank and archer combo already works, but if you manage to hide your archer from the defending player, that makes it even more deadly. So here's how the Tezzeret user plays it. They will drop either the Hedron Scouts or the Riddle Keeper at the same time. So they have to have that in their hands, right? And then using the description of the Riddle Keeper and the Hedron Scouts don't really even matter. What's important is the number of units that they produce, right? So that's 3 and 5 units. So 5 and 3, that's 8. And the Reiver Demon, this is how it works, right? It flies in the air and it melee attacks area of effect attacks both ground and air enemies. So if you put something in front of it, such as Hedron Scouts, to sort of distract it, those Hedron Scouts are just going to disappear in one strike because it performs an area of effect attack, right? Allied units within the range are sacrificed when summoned, and this is what's needed by the Reiver Demon. That's why you need the Riddle Keeper and the Hedron Scouts first, and then you make the player makes sure that they're clumped together. Usually it's placed at the back of the tower because that will prevent the units from scuttling around, right? So they'll remain stationary for a moment because they're going to be blocked by the tower. Drop all of those creatures, those 8 creatures, 3 Hedron Scouts and 5 Riddle Keeper creatures, and then you drop the Reiver Demon, sacrificing those creatures, and you have a level 8 Reiver Demon that is marching towards your side of the deck, right? The combo is very mana intensive, and most players would place the Reiver Demon at the back because they will then require an additional 6 mana or 5 mana if they've already reached 10. They're going to require 6 additional mana to cast Aethersquall Ancient. So they will put the Aethersquall Ancient in front of the Reiver Demon, effectively performing its ability that turns nearby flying allies ethereal. So only flying allies. So what does it mean to be ethereal? Ethereal allies cannot be targeted by enemies. It's like Shroud, right? If a creature is shrouded, it cannot be the target of spells and abilities. But ethereal allies simply cannot be targeted by enemies. So that means anything that's currently ethereal cannot be attacked by any basic attacks. So all of the attacks will be focused on the Aethersquall Ancient, which becomes devastating because you then have a level 8 creature that's right behind it. With just one swipe, it can kill any planeswalker. I'm referring to the Reiver Demon at level 8, right? And it's just going to be devastating. That's why you see every now and then some people posting that they're tired of playing against these, and it's toxic. Some of them are saying, although some people say that it's possible to defend, and yeah, it's possible to defend against that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. You have to take note that the deck requires time to build. It requires at least 9 mana initially in order for you to pull off a level 8 Reiver Demon. If the player is willing to contend with a level 5 or a level 3 demon, then it's going to cost less. But for maximum effect, most players would drop a level 8 Reiver Demon. And it is mana intensive. Remember that it is mana intensive because it then requires an additional 6 mana in order for you to put the Aethersquall Ancient. Now what the Tezzeret users will do, they will place Tezzeret at the back to sort of provide support and then keep on dropping all other creatures that they can, right? Potentially waiting for another Reiver Demon to be dropped at the back, following the same combo that I've mentioned earlier. Okay, so how do we counter against this amazing combo? All right, if you want to call it toxic combo, then sure, this amazingly toxic combo, right? I'll present 3 possible ways for you to defend against the Tezzeret deck, Aethersquall, Ancient, and Reiver Demon combo. Number 1 would be to counter push. What you can do is you can start building on the opposite side, so you can create your own momentum and potentially force your opponent to defend. This is a viable option because the creatures are the Aethersquall Ancient and the Reiver Demon. They're both very slow, right? I even have a record of a game that was completed in 31 and 29 seconds. So it is possible to beat Tezzeret into destroying your main guardian by forming your own force at the bottom. The downside to using that is that if it gets countered, you're doomed because your top tower is already as good as dead if Tezzeret decides to put his combo on the top tower. And they usually do, because your top tower would be Tezzeret's bottom tower, right? And it's easier to drop your creatures using your finger or using a stylus, right, at the bottom part, which is closer to where the creature or the card trait can be found. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be to counter push, and number 1 would be to counter push. Number 2 would be to actually defend, and number 3, split push. All right, that's what we're going to show you today. We're going to show you a video about how you can defend And then what I did in the later part would be to transform my defense into a split push. I'm going to show you a video of a match between myself, a Vraska user, and a Tezzeret user. Right. And as you can see, um, I, the equipment that I have, it has better quality compared to his equipment. It's probably difficult to start getting creature cards using the Tezzeret's Aethersquall and Reiver Demon combo, because people have been hoarding these cards for their own use, right? So let's talk about the second strategy, which is to defend. Take note that defending is going to be resource intensive. Do not delay in placing down your creatures for too long, because it can yield to a catastrophic failure. Also, you have to know which creatures you need to defend against. Remember that the Aethersquall Ancient will turn the flying opponent's Aethereal. Alright? It says Aethereal allies. So, any flying creature by the opposing team will be hidden, right? So your primary target when you're defending is the Aethersquall Ancient. Alright? So you'll need some anti-air creatures to defend against. Just so happened that my Planeswalker, Vraska, can deal damage for both air creatures and ground creatures. So in the video we're going to watch, you will see that Vraska also served as the anti-air team. But not only that, remember that the player will probably put Tezzeret at the ground as well, potentially providing ground support. So you'll have to look at the Aethersquall Ancient, which is your primary target, but you also have to defend against the ground units for Tezzeret. So you'll probably need some form of tank to distract the opponent, right? The opponent's ground units, and it can also cause the Reiver Demon to attack the ground units instead of focusing primarily on destroying your tower, right? By the way, the Aethersquall Ancient only attacks buildings, so take note of that. There is no it won't attack any creatures. So if your Aethersquall Ancient is moving faster or is ahead of the Reiver Demon, meaning if the Reiver Demon is trying to destroy a creature that's on the ground, which is far from where the Aethersquall Ancient is, you can potentially separate the Reiver Demon from the Aethersquall Ancient. Okay? And then the moment you've successfully defended, you can then start your own single lane harass, push on the same lane, or you can transform your push into a split push, right? Which is the most dangerous. Do not try it right away. That's my suggestion. When you split push, it's the most dangerous because you're splitting your forces into two, potentially making them weaker, right? You would want to cycle your cards quickly so you can get to your anti-air creatures, so that you can bring down the Aethersquall Ancient the soonest possible. Do not even think about destroying the Reiver Demon just yet, because you can't, because it's going to be Aethereal. So what you're going to look at would be destroying this first and making sure that you're defending against the foot soldiers, including Tezzeret. So let's take a look at this replay. Sorry if it took a while to bring us to the video. I just felt that in order for you to successfully counter Tezzeret's deck, you first need to understand what the combo is all about. So if you've stayed this long, thank you for doing so. At this point, I'm gonna show you how I've managed to defend against this Tezzeret user. I meet them all the time, right? Notice what he did right there. The combo that we were describing earlier, right? Your Hedron Scouts and your Riddle Keeper. The player would place them at the back of the tower or the guardian, so that they remain clumped in one area, so that the Reiver Demon can get as much fuel as it can. In this case, it managed to snatch 6, right? and I dropped my Birds of Paradise just so I could cycle through the cards. The Birds of Paradise is a flying creature, but it's going to do very little in terms of defending against the Reiver Demon. Now this player right here is kind of aggressive, and what he did was he placed his Reiver Demon ahead of the pack, allowing it to take some damage, and then placing the Aethersquall Ancient at the back. This player, Matt. Sorry, Matt, if you're watching this. I hope you are. If you're watching this, this is not the best Tezzeret player I've ever faced with, but this is one of the most successful defenses I've managed to put up. And so I've decided to show this to you guys. Now, my Planeswalker's ability when it leaves the play is that it stuns the creatures around it, which is great because it will allow me to buy some time, right? And notice I started, not only am I defending on the ground, or sorry, on the air near the tower, but I'm also placing something right over here to distract Tezzeret and his minions, right? So that they attack the tank right over here and expose the flying creatures right there up top. Now the reason this messenger is right over here because I tried to defend by placing it over here. He swapped using the Retraction Helix and placed everything right on at this side. Things are not looking very bright, as you can see. Was that a successful defense? Absolutely not. But because he left his tower up top exposed, I now have a potential target. If I manage to destroy this, then I have a chance to win the game, right? Or at least break even. But we don't want to break even. We want to win. We want to win the game, right? Notice what he's doing. He's trying to hoard his mana so that he can drop the same combo he tried to play on me earlier, right? Not all Tezzeret players are going to do the same mistake that he did, right? Which is to hoard mana and then defend afterwards. Just so happened that this one gave me the chance, and I'm not gonna back down on it. I'm gonna take it. So now, in order for us to win, we actually need to destroy at least one more tower than him. I'm not even thinking about destroying the main guardian. Notice what he did. He already placed his fuel, which in this case are the the Riddle Keeper and the Hedron Scouts. We now have a level 7. We now have a level 7, or we have a 7 sacrifice Reiver Demon and the Aethersquall in front of it. Now you may be wondering, why do I even bother putting this skull catapult at the bottom, right? It's not the tankiest, but it is tankier than my anti-air characters. So what I do is I place it at the bottom to potentially distract the Aethersquall Ancient, because remember, it attacks buildings, so it's going to stall its progress, allowing me time to get more defenders. Plus, the Skull Catapult will throw bombs at the ground creatures, which will create more skulls, and that can continue to distract the Aethersquall. It will continue to distract the Reiver Demon and buy me some time, right? Instead of preserving my Planeswalker, I take advantage of Vraska's ability when it leaves the play to stall the Ancient. As you can see, what I did was to transform my defense into split push. Stalled him twice using Vraska, and now we've destroyed that bottom tower. I have another Vraska. I don't intend in winning the game by destroying the main guardian. I simply wanted to stall. All right, but that was still very challenging. If you've noticed, it's kind of difficult to get ahead if you're not going to counter push using against a against the Aethersquall Ancient Reiver Demon combo for a Tezzeret user. Right. For this particular video, you saw me defend and then split push afterwards. But again, be wary, right? There are far more better players out there, but hopefully the video will give you an idea about how you might be able to defend successfully against a Tezzeret user using the Aethersquall Ancient and the Reiver Demon combo. Okay, just a quick announcement, there will be a server maintenance on February 25, so we may not be able to post videos, but thank you so much for all of you guys who are showing support, and thank you for the love. I really appreciate the kind comments, and please continue supporting the channel. And I have fun making these videos because people are also having fun watching them. So let's continue to do that, shall we? Alright. Well, I'll see you in the next video, which will be in a couple of days. I'll sign off for now. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.